In sports, the wildest, most entertaining moments come when two opponents hate each other, and in 2023, baseball fans got to see what happens when that hatred turns into pure humiliation.
Well, how cringy could it even get?
Don't question me. In the span of just a couple days, the New York Yankees and Toronto Blue Jays went to cringe war. Managers publicly body-shamed each other, made extreme false cheating allegations. Players' trash talk backfired so bad they ended up going missing.
The ALEK Manoah situation. It's really bizarre.
And so much more. However, what fans don't realize is that this has been going on for a couple years, and the end of this tale is quite possibly the most ironic and gratifying I have ever seen. It all started in 2022 when the first place Yankees were versing the second place Blue Jays.
Rewind time.
When Yimi Garcia started randomly jawing at Gleyber Torres after he struck him out. Gleyber seemed confused and decided it wasn't worth his time, and Jimmy O'Brien from John Boy Media summed up just about how every Yankees fan felt in that moment.
And I loved how Gleyber handled that. The same thing I'm saying to Yankees fans, like, why would you engage with the Blue Jays? If you're 11 games up on a team, there's nothing to gain when punching down.
We didn't know it at the time, but something was bubbling up, and as the Yankees went on to win that series, nobody was prepared for what came next.
Oh, the sounds, I don't like them. Ah, no! Oh,
Hold on a second. This spooky fella is ALEK Manoah, former ace of the Blue Jays pitching staff, and he's been known for his emotional problems. This has actually been such a setback for him, it might have completely ruined his career, which we'll get there later, and he has major beef with two other teams in his own division. The Yankees became the third in August, when Manoah busted the Yankees captain Aaron Judge up and in on the first pitch he saw following a multi-hit night and drilled him with a fastball in his next at-bat. In the heat of the competition, Judge was pissed, and so was the Yankees ace Gerrit Cole. After the game, Judge said him and Manoah had sorted it out and there was no bad blood between the two sides, with all being forgiven. In Cole's post-game interview, he admitted he wasn't sure if it was on purpose and even laughingly said,
I guess I was just on one today.
However, Manoah was not on the same page.
Am I trying to scare you? Yeah. Should you be? Oh yeah, it's past time to be scared. So, I'm the reincarnated, murdered first god.
My bad, that might be the wrong clip.
If Garrett wants to do something, he can walk past the Audi side next time.
But would the Blue Jays be able to back up the trash talk, and what is it going to look like when Gerrit Cole goes head-to-head with ALEK Manoah? Well, for starters, the Jays fell 8.5 games behind the Yankees approaching the end of the season, meaning their next matchup was going to be more intense than ever. If the Yankees won this series, they would win the division title. Especially given the context of everything these two teams had been through, nothing would be more embarrassing to the Blue Jays than losing this series in their own home stadium.
And this is just the second inning.
Right? Enter the 10th inning of Game 1.
And lined into left to base hit. Biggio around third, and the Blue Jays walk it off.
This is my house. These extremely bold words after one hard-fought win would go on to haunt Toronto worse than any questionable clips of Drake on the internet. The Yankees beat the Blue Jays, clinched the division, and their announcer Michael Kay dunked on them.
And you know what? It's really nice of Vlad Guerrero to let the Yankees celebrate in his house.
Hi everybody, this is just me interjecting on myself real quick because I feel the need to explain how indescribably bad this loss was. The Jays had a chance to come back in this game with their year on the line, and Bichette got picked off at second base because he just forgot to stand on the bag. And the next batter, Vladdy, pimped a single off the wall that he thought was a home run and got thrown out at second.
What are you thinking? Down 3 runs.
It just feels like I'm making stuff up, but I'm not. I guess you could say some would find that a little, embarrassing. Okay, back to the video. The very next day, the Yankees took their all-star first baseman out of the lineup, sent him out as the acting manager because it was funny, and beat them again, like this.
For Harrison Bader. Right back to Simber. He'll come home. He throws the ball away. Cabrera scores. Here comes Donaldson. He'll score.
And this is just a prelude to the intricate web of disasters we're about to plunge headfirst into, and the heat started rising before the next season even began. Barely a month after the season started, ALEK Manoah went on Serge Ibaka's podcast and said this.
Who is the worst cheater in baseball history?
In baseball history?
Yeah.
Cheater?
Yeah.
Gerrit Cole. He cheated. He used a lot of like sticky stuff.
Yeah. to make his pitches better.
Although Garrett Cole did use sticky substances on his fingers before MLB's crackdown to alter his pitches, so did many of Alek Manoah's teammates, including Yusei Kikuchi, who's listed as one of the top 10 pitchers affected the most by the crackdown. This made the long-awaited face-off between the two on April 22nd of 2023 all the more interesting, and things devolved very quickly. Knowing that Garrett Cole once complained about his start being delayed by Billy Crystal's pre-game opening day festivities, Manoah and his catcher delayed the game as Cole was about to throw his first pitch by walking across the field and pretending to be oblivious.
And George Springer's in the box, but Alek Manoah, Alejandro Kirk, and the other 4 starting pitchers just now crossing the foul line. So Cole had to step back off the rubber for a moment or two.
In return, Cole shut the Jays down and responded with this.
Whew, it's tough. I mean, and those guys are... Alek was on his game today. I mean, he threw tremendous.
Did you read anything into Alek arriving just as you were about to throw the first pitch there in the first inning?
Didn't notice. I mean, I get all of my motivation from inside this clubhouse.
After beating him, Cole laughingly complimented him, said he didn't notice any of Manoah's antics, and basically told the media he didn't care about anything they did. In Manoah's post-game press conference, he doubled down. Clearly, the Yankees didn't see the Jays as a worthy enough opponent to be taken seriously, but what if the Jays were the better team and the Yankees would be forced to respond? Well, this is where things get wild. And by wild, I mean by far the most insane series I have ever seen as a lifelong baseball fan. As the 2023 season went on, it became more and more apparent that the Yankees suck. In their next matchup, the Blue Jays not only have the statistical upper hand team-wise, but also home field advantage, meaning Alek Manoah is teed up to finally have some form of redemption. Enter May 15th, the Circus.
The first for Anthony Volpe.
Fastball. Count full against Judge with the bases loaded here in the top of the 4th. 4-0 Yankees.
Checks the swing. He does not go. That'll force in a run.
Walks in this 5th inning. He's not close right now, and that's going to be the end of the night. A disappointing outing for sure.
Manoah sharded up a storm on the mound, giving up 5 runs and 7 walks in just 4 innings. By the way, thanks Keegan and sick beard. Alek Manoah was so bad, some fans even started begging for him to be sent down to the minor leagues. This is where the Blue Jays began to get desperate and throw an organizational tantrum. In the 8th inning, the Jays were being completely shut out when Aaron Judge hit his 2nd home run of the game on a meatball, freshly served from the relief pitcher Jay Jackson.
Deep drive, center field. There it goes. See ya. A monster shot over the batter's eye.
At this point, the Blue Jays announcers pitched their 2 cents into this team's embarrassment streak.
We saw this 3 pitches ago.
Watch what he's looking at.
Yeah.
Where's he looking?
Where's he looking? And he did it more than once.
Yeah.
You don't want to go, throwing allegations around without knowing, but
Once again, he's looking at something.
You see, Judge was looking towards the first base coach to pick up signs before receiving pitches. To any informed baseball fan, this would indicate that Judge was looking to his coach for a sign of what's coming, because the pitcher could be signaling what type of pitch he was about to throw with his body language. Not only is this completely legal, but common baseball knowledge says that every player on the bench is looking for a tip on the opposing pitcher at all times to capitalize on mistakes like this. However, to the Blue Jays announcer Buck Martinez, this meant that Aaron Judge was cheating and that he should publicly, in the middle of a game, raise his wildly wrong suspicions to millions of fans. Not only is this a bad luck for a repeatedly failing chirpy team, but it's borderline defamatory to the Yankees captain Aaron Judge, who stated he wasn't very happy with the way the situation was handled. Even then, when the Blue Jays clubhouse got a hold of this, instead of shutting it down, they took it a step further. Following the game, the Jays manager John Schneider had gotten in contact with the MLB in pursuit to launch an official investigation on the Yankees for the happening. Following day, the Yankees manager Aaron Boone got in contact with the league himself to figure out what the deal was. And to nobody's surprise,
our understanding, there's not going to be any kind of investigation because nothing that went on last night was against the rules.
However, this didn't stop the Blue Jays from continuing to push this narrative, and nothing could prepare baseball fans for the level of ridiculousness that happened in Game 2. Before the first pitch was even thrown, John Schneider was ready to go to war.
John Schneider said one of the reasons he's bringing the lineup card out is he would like to say to the umpires to make sure that the coaches are in the coaches box. They contacted Major League Baseball. MLB talked with both teams, decided there were no, quote, major violations.
By only the 3rd inning, the Blue Jays coaches were already chirping.
Now they're yelling at Luis Rojas. He's too far out of the 3rd baseline, and now the first base coach, DJ Rayburn, is getting involved.
From there on, it was a mess. As the team's coaches argued, the manager John Schneider shouted across the field,
"Shut up. Shut up, fat boy.
This left everybody confused for obvious reasons, and the Yankees announcer from the top rope,
Schneider is shouting that across the field. I mean, Schneider's not exactly Kate Moss either, so why would you throw those kind of words at somebody?
The Yankees then proceeded to bring in one of the worst pitchers in baseball to shut the Jays down with the bases loaded. The next inning, the worst power hitter in the whole sport hit an opposite field bomb, followed by a home run off the bat of Aaron Judge that literally broke the Blue Jays.
Broke the Maple Leaf.
And just like that, the weekend from Canadian hell was over. The Jays and Yanks wouldn't meet again for months, so surely the embarrassment is over. Except it wasn't. In fact, it only gets worse. You see, in the time that elapsed, ALEK Manoah continued to get... I mean, he got hit so hard that Jay sent him down to the minors a month later, called him back up, and then sent him back down again in August. But this is where things started to get real weird. A few days later, it came out that Manoah never reported to his minor league team, and the story that came out to explain his absence was that he was staying in Toronto to undergo medical testing. However, this came out to be a cover-up and a fabrication. It turns out the team had already cleared him of any injuries and had no idea where he was.
The story just got lost, almost like a missing person. Like the Blue Jays didn't report it. He didn't say anything, but they sent him down to Buffalo, and he never pitched. On the Blair and Barker podcast, one of them's the announcers for the Blue Jays. These guys hop on the mic, just get right into it.
Basically, ALEK Manoah's 2023 is essentially done, which is probably
It's
not.
done. I, for weeks, have witnessed this from a major league level to in between. ALEK being optioned, failing to report to AAA Buffalo, and then eventually working things out. What was the window? Like 2 weeks before he actually even got to Buffalo. And there was never a timeline that I'm led to believe, talking with people within the organization, a timeline to get him back on the mound.
They're basically saying Manoah just and his team threw like a hissy fit and didn't want to report, so he didn't report.
I just don't know what he's got to stand on. I don't know how he's throwing his hands in the air and going, how are you sending me down? That's confusing.
Media outlets went as far as to say he had disappeared. Manoah eventually did report to the team, but didn't pitch because he claimed his shoulder hurt. After fighting with the team's doctors for a while, they eventually just gave him some shots in his shoulder, and he's been out of baseball ever since. This is quite possibly the worst season he or any pitcher could ever have. The fact that he's the biggest smack talker in the sport makes it all the more gratifying. As for Garrett Cole, well, he's been the best pitcher in the American League, winning the Cy Young Award unanimously. He poetically wrapped up his league-leading year with a start where he pitched a complete game shutout. You guessed it, against the Blue Jays, making this one of the most pathetic, embarrassing, and all-around cringiest rivalries in all of sports history.
No, seriously, please, I work. No, seriously, please, I work. No, seriously, please, I work too hard on this stupid video.